And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Good evening, San Diego. Welcome to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis. I am a top producing real estate broker, a licensed California attorney specializing in helping distressed homeowners, and an NMLS licensed mortgage broker. I truly am San Diego's real estate expert. I am here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. to discuss anything and everything related to San Diego real estate. I welcome any questions or issues that you would like to hear me discuss on the show. There are several ways that you can contact me. First, you can call me at 888-242-2272. That's 888-242-2272. You can also email me at michael@michaelgaddis.com. That's michael@michaelgaddis.com. Or you can visit my website at www.michaelgaddis.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter at MGJD Realty. Finally, you can visit my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Michael Gaddis Realty Group. Okay, so as you know, I'm a top producing realtor serving all of San Diego County. I have listings from Alpine to Lakeside to Poway to Carmel Valley to Fallbrook to Oceanside. A lot of my work is concentrated in the communities located between La Jolla and Oceanside and as far east as Fallbrook. I really love my job because it allows me to become intimately familiar with the various micro-communities throughout San Diego. Why do I get so many listings spread throughout the county, you might ask? Well, the reason is simple. I am the best at what I do. My goal is to make you, the homeowner, more money by utilizing analytics and innovative marketing tactics. I do not need to be local to you to make this happen. The internet and my exceptional research abilities negate the local edge. However, with that being said, although I service all of San Diego County, my office is in Carlsbad, California. I am partial to Carlsbad because it was the first place I lived when I moved to California from Kansas City, Missouri 16 years ago. I was working as an in-house counsel for a vehicle fleet management company called Teletrack. Their corporate headquarters were located in Kansas City, and I was lucky enough to get a job assisting their general counsel. During my interview, my soon-to-be boss told me three things. First, he told me I had the job if I wanted it. Second, he told me that in 5 months, Teletrack would be moving its corporate headquarters to a place called Carlsbad, California. And third, he told me that if I wanted to come to Carlsbad, the company would pay to move me there. I had no idea where Carlsbad was located or what it was like, but I was all in. Carlsbad was my first real experience in California. I have been happy there ever since. Steve, wherever you are, thank you for changing my life. Over the years, I have watched Carlsbad grow and grow and grow. Why do I tell you this? I tell you this because Carlsbad continues to be on an incredible growth trajectory. Recently, I saw an article talking about how that ground is being cleared for a development of 600 plus Carlsbad homes. The development is located off of El Camino Real and is called Old Creek Trails. And Old Creek Trails is being developed by Cornerstone Communities, and it is going to, as I mentioned, place over 600 new homes by 2016. So that's in addition to the Toll Brothers development, which I also told you about, which is up off of El Camino Real and Palomar Airport Road off Cannon, kind of in that area, which is going to bring an additional 672 homes. And Toll Brothers, that's just a massive development. I drive by it every single day, and there's giant earth movers moving, and they're putting streets in, sewers, all that kind of stuff. There's another builder across the street, Lennar, which is building a smaller development, only 26 homes. It's also off of El Camino Real, very close to Toll Brothers. Both the Toll Brothers and Lennar development are a stone's throw away from my office. As we discussed in previous weeks, news articles continue to come out talking about the lack of inventory throughout San Diego County. I think developers have anticipated this lack of inventory and are ready to feed the demand. There is demand, and we can there is development, and we could talk of development there's development throughout Carlsbad. If you drive on the I-5, that just showed you how I'm from the Midwest originally, because in the Midwest, we don't call them we call them I-5. Whenever I go home and visit my family and I say, oh, I'm going to take the 70, they laugh at me and say, what are you talking about? But so out here, when they come out here for directions, they say, yeah, can you show me where I-5 is? And people are like, what are you talking about? It's the 5. So anyway, so you could tell where I'm from. My Midwestern side just slipped up. But if you drive on the 5 through Carlsbad, you have undoubtedly seen the strawberry fields off Cannon Road. There is this is proposed development by Caruso Affiliated, led by Steve Caruso, who plans to develop the 203-acre plot of land into a high-end shopping and entertainment area anchored by Nordstrom. The plan, called the 8515 plan, seeks to preserve 85% of the 203 acres for public trails and recreational activities. My understanding is that the strawberry fields are going to remain intact. Only 26 acres will be developed into a retail and entertainment space. The plan was recently unanimously approved by Carlsbad City Council, and rightfully so. I heard recently that there's some opposition to this development. And my only question is, who are you and why? Why would you not want a development of this quality going in to Carlsbad? If you check out Steve Caruso's other developments, such as the Grove in Los Angeles, it's lavish. It's literally amazing. You should look it up, Google it, and then look at the images of that particular development. If you've never been there, it's just incredible. This is no ordinary developer that's coming to Carlsbad. This is somebody special. I mention this because of what a development like this could do, not only for Carlsbad's economy, but for its real estate market. As you bring in a development like this of such high-end quality with Nordstrom's and high-end shops like that, it's going to bring in jobs. It's going to bring in the need for housing. It's just going to legitimize Carlsbad as one of the most exceptional communities in all of San Diego County. Also currently being developed in Carlsbad is a desalination plant, which is being built at the Encina Power Station in Carlsbad. Once completed, it will be Western Hemisphere's largest desalination plant. It's just incredible. The facility will generate 50 million gallons of potable water a day and serve about 300,000 people. And what do I say to that? It's about time. We're sitting here in a water crisis, and we're sitting next to the largest pool of water in the world. And, it's about time someone probably finally took that into effect. As you can see or hear, I should say, Carlsbad continues to grow and develop into one of San Diego County's finest communities. And, as I said, I drive through Carlsbad every single day. And, as I see articles like the one from Cornerstone Properties, or I see Toll Brothers, developing more homes, it brings more and more attention to the community of Carlsbad. And from a real estate perspective, that's really, really incredible. And there has been a real inventory shortage, recently. And I think that by putting these extra, housing developments or bringing these extra inventory into the market, it's only going to help Carlsbad expand and grow. So again, this 600, I'm going to go back again to this 600, I keep stuttering, this 600 plus Carlsbad home development. What's really nice about some of these developments when they go in is that they do a lot of preservation to the area. They create a lot of park trails and things like that. And this one is no different. This particular, project is located about 3 miles from the coast, and it's crossed by the Buena Vista Creek, which at the eastern end includes El Sato Falls. This waterfall was considered sacred by the San Luis Rey Band of Mission Indians and was a tribal home for gathering places for centuries. So, this is a very, very special and historical area, and it used to be a quarry. So it's going to be a welcome addition to the Carlsbad housing inventory. So when we come back, what's up next? The housing crisis, is it over? What percentage of San Diego County homes would you guess are still underwater? Find out after the break. You are listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer.
AM 1170. The Answer.
Craig Sewing here, host of the Craig Sewing Show. I want you to think in your head for a minute. How much money did you make last year? Here's a better question. How much money did you keep? In other words, how much of your hard-earned money was for you rather than giving it away to this inefficient government of ours? If you think the government's inefficient, I got a challenge for you. I'm going to challenge your efficiency with your tax plan. My good friend Doug Jennings, who you hear on KCBQ all the time, is a savant when it comes to tax planning. As Doug puts it, Craig, I've never even seen a tax return I can't improve. Doug can help you keep more of your money, help you improve your structure for your taxes, your business, your real estate, even your marriage. Why wouldn't you take a moment to get a free consultation? It can save you thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. He's not really a friend of the IRS, but I'm a consumer advocate. I want him helping you. This is something you got to do. Visit JenningsTaxLaw.com for a free consultation on your tax plan. That's JenningsTaxLaw.com. You can thank me later. Doug is a great person, a great professional. He and his wife Peggy are friends of mine. I give him my highest recommendation. JenningsTaxLaw.com. Visit him today. Hey, Craig Sewing here, consumer activist. You hear me every day at 6 p.m. on KCBQ. My goal is to help you win in any marketplace. One of the things that applies to every single person that listens to our show and that's listening right now, you have a credit score, and more likely than not, it has inaccuracies on it. Nobody seems to understand how these things work. Here's what I can tell you. I have a credit expert that's a partner in the show named Aran Sinai. I call him the credit magician. If you've ever had any issues with your credit, you want to get your scores up, maybe a foreclosure, bankruptcy, or maybe just a collection. You know the city of San Diego can send parking tickets to collections? Crazy. Well, bad credit's a choice. Reach out to Aran Sinai. How do you do that? You go to our website, AmericanDreamElite.com. AmericanDreamElite.com. Hit me up on the contact form. I'll connect you with Aran. AmericanDreamElite.com. If you've ever had any credit issues whatsoever, AmericanDreamElite.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of www.michaelgaddis.com. Before the break, I asked what percentage of San Diego County homes would you guess are still underwater? According to the Times of San Diego, nearly 10% of San Diego homes are still underwater. Now, according to this article, it says a news report Thursday from the online real estate service Zillow finds that almost 1 home in 10 in San Diego are still underwater. Now, what does underwater mean? Underwater means that your house is valued less than the outstanding mortgage balance. And this is 7 years after what they call the Great Recession. Zillow said 8.6% of San Diego area homes overall and 12.7% of condominiums remained underwater in the second quarter of this year. Though high, this was less than the national average of 15% of all homes and 20% of condos. So it's interesting because here's how California's metro areas ranked in the second quarter in terms of percentage of underwater homes. Riverside was 15.8%. Sacramento is 13%. San Diego, 8.6%. Los Angeles, 7.8%. San Francisco was 5.4%. And San Jose was 3.4%. So it's incredible that there's still such a large portion of people that are underwater. Now, a lot of the problem is that a lot of these underwater people, and people who are not necessarily underwater as well, start getting themselves into situations where they need assistance. Either they're having financial distress or they're just coming to terms with the fact that their house is so far underwater. So a lot of them, even in the inception of the housing crisis, a lot of them sought loan modifications for help. So early on in the infancy stages of loan modifications, the banks weren't prepared to handle this. I don't think they were ready for what was happening, or they underestimated the extent of the problem. So what happened is when the loan modifications began, and just to remind you, before the housing crisis, loan modifications were there, but they were only granted in special circumstances. Usually in the cases of divorce, disaster, disability, death, things like that, the 4Ds. And when they were granted, they were usually granted for either 6 months or 12 months at a time. They were never permanent type modifications. And the reason is because most people had equity. And when you have equity, what does a bank do? A bank has no incentive to help you if they can foreclose on you and get all of their investment back. So that's what loan modification comes down to. It comes down to incentive and benefit of the investor. So, I mean, that's part of the problem. So when this housing crisis initially started happening, the banks weren't prepared for this. So they didn't know how to prepare loan modifications for a problem of this magnitude. So what did they do? They put people in, a lot of them in what I call Band-Aid modifications. They kind of just kicked the can down the curb. Basically, what they were doing is putting people in, interest-only loans for 5 years, or they put them into things that basically just put the problem off. And a lot of these things keep reoccurring. So the people who received loan modifications like in 2008 and 2009, well, if they were put into a 5-year interest-only kind of Band-Aid modification, as I say, then basically what happens is in 2013, 2014, what happened is usually these interest-only loans converted from interest-only loan modifications to fully amortized. So the initial, let's say the interest rate, for example, was, okay, we'll give you a 3% interest only for 5 years. And when a homeowner sees that, they say, well, that's great. That's really low payment. So they sign up, take it. What they didn't read is the next paragraph that says, at the expiration of 5 years, your loan is going to become a 5% interest rate, fully amortized with the remaining term. So what that means is if you've had your loan, let's say, let's say it's a 30-year loan and you've had it 8 years, that means at the expiration of the modification period, you're going to have 22 years left. So what that means is your payment is going to be calculated at 5% on 22 remaining years, which what? It means an increase in your payment, a substantial increase. So a lot of these people redefaulted off these loan mods. And, a lot of the banks are going, well, the redefault rate on these is really high. Well, yeah, it is, because you just gave them a Band-Aid modification. It didn't fix the problem. You just prolonged the problem. So the problem is that new loan modifications are very difficult to obtain. Part of the problem is rising values make the incentives to investors much lower than it used to be. In the old days, they were much more amenable to granting a loan modification because their risk of loss was higher. They were looking and assessing their situation and determining that ultimately it was in their financial best interest to give you, say, a 2% on a 40-year loan with a principal forbearance or something like that. However, with rising values, it makes the incentive to the investor much lower. So that is one problem. Another problem is that a lot of people are defaulting on good loan modifications, leaving less desirable loan mod programs available. So what happens is when these people have, let's say, a HAMP modification that's a step rate escalation, meaning it starts at, let's say, a 2% for 5 years, then goes up to 3%, then 4%, and then fixes at, let's say, 4.125. After the expiration of the 5 years, their payment's going up, and a lot of them can't afford it. And so, but the problem is the mod is a very aggressive mod, and because of the reason I just told you, and prior to this, with the rising values, it makes it much more difficult to get a loan mod. Plus, once you've already received one HAMP loan modification, you're not eligible for another HAMP Tier 1 modification. You're only eligible for HAMP Tier 2 or an investor-based modification, and HAMP Tier 2 is not nearly as aggressive as HAMP Tier 1. So unfortunately, a lot of times due to algorithm problems, you won't qualify for a HAMP Tier 2, which leaves you at the mercy of the investor-based mods. And a lot of time, those in-house mods are not very good at all. So what does that mean? Well, that means a lot of homeowners need to make a decision. And the decision they need to make is, do they want to short sell or just kind of ride it out and let it go to foreclosure? So the question is, why short sell your house? Why would a homeowner decide to short sell their house? Well, there's several reasons for this. Number one, you preserve your credit and future ability to purchase a home. If you short sell, your ability to purchase a home is accelerated. Okay, versus, if you let it go to foreclosure. This is especially the case of VA buyers. So if anybody out there is a person who had owned a house and they short sold and they have VA eligibility, you're in good luck. You're definitely in good shape. The next reason is you can resolve junior recourse liens. So what that means is a lot of people have first liens and second liens. The first lien is because of the way the laws work. The first lien is usually it'll end up being a non-recourse loan because of the One Act rule in California, which basically says that a lien holder is restricted to either pursue a deficiency judgment or foreclosure. And since most of them pursue foreclosure, they lose their right to pursue deficiency judgments. So basically, that means they can't come after you for the shortfall. However, second liens, who don't typically exercise their right of foreclosure, can come after you in the event of a foreclosure to the first lien. So what do I mean by recourse lien? You might be asking. A recourse lien is basically where they can come after you personally. Versus, maybe a purchase money loan where where it's a non-recourse loan by law, which means if the loan you purchase your house with is called a purchase money loan, and that purchase money loan is protected. Whereas if you refinance out of it, it loses its purchase money protection and becomes technically a recourse loan. So a lot of people took out HELOCs and other things like that, and it created these recourse liens. Well, what a short sale will do was provide you an opportunity to negotiate out of that. So, if for example, you let the house go to foreclosure and you have a $200,000, second, the last thing you want is for the house to go to foreclosure and then 8, 9, 10 months later, somebody knocking on your door saying, we want $200,000. So the short selling will allow you an opportunity to help resolve that. And a lot of times it doesn't come out of any cost to you, because what happens is the first lien holder will usually grant the second lien holder an allocation in the short sale, and basically, the second lien holder will accept what the first lien holder is giving them and agree to short sell a property. And because of the anti-deficiency statutes in California, basically you're off the hook. So short selling your house can really be beneficial, especially if you have recourse junior liens. The other thing a short sale can do is it can help resolve issues with judgment creditors. A lot of times people who are in trouble have judgment liens on their house for various other things. A lot of time short sale is an opportunity for you to try to resolve those as well. And another incentive for people to short sell is that basically you might qualify for some relocation assistance. Like, for example, HOFA will give up to $10,000 in relocation assistance to help people bridge themselves from their current residence to a new residence. And that HOFA incentive is really, really beneficial and it's good for both sides. The bank gives it because then, they know that the homeowner is basically going to take care of the house during the short sale process, and they're committed to go. And the homeowner basically, gets money to help transition them to a new home. So you need to see if you can qualify for HOFA. There are certain restrictions on it, but it is something to definitely consider. So short sales are not easy, though. And the reason they're not easy is because you frequently come up with things like value disputes, where the bank is thinking that the house is worth more than what your offer is, and you have to go back and forth with the bank disputing the value of the property. Now, one lien short sales are easier but they're still difficult due to valuation disputes, because the problem is that we're in an appreciating real estate market. And a lot of times, a lot of these lenders and servicers are adding in an appreciation factor of 3 to 5% on top of so whatever market value they're getting on their BPO, they're adding 3 to 5%, and they're trying to get that back, which creates difficulty when trying to negotiate a short sale. Another issue is difficulty in finding buyers. One, because of the stigma of a short sale, and two, because of the deferred maintenance. Buying a short sale takes time. A lot of buyers don't want to stick around the amount of time it takes to get a short sale. And so they're not going to pay, full market price to stick around for 2 to 3 months to do it. And with the amount of deferred maintenance that a lot of these have, because most of these people are so far behind, they quit putting money into their house. So, it's definitely a problem trying to secure a buyer that's going to stick it through the process. Another issue is appreciating values affect the net that banks want. As you said, the banks are all about the net proceeds to them. So as values increase, the net proceeds are an issue. Junior lien holders must agree to the sale. Let me tell you something. Negotiating a short sale with multiple lien holders is like herding cats. You got to get them all in a row. You got to make them all march in a single file row. And if you've ever seen kittens or cats, it's almost impossible to get them to do that. So it is a very difficult endeavor to try to get everybody on board to agree to get everything what needs to be done. And then if you have junior creditors or HOA liens, it makes it even more difficult. And short selling non-owner occupied homes becomes an issue as well. And the last problem that really makes short sales difficult is that every single person in the transaction seems to have their own agenda that seems to shift from day to day. So it's really, really difficult to get everybody on board. And it takes a very experienced short sale negotiator to help you get through this process. So who do you choose? Well, honestly, you need to choose somebody like me who has a background, in helping homeowners with distress situations. Many real estate professionals will call themselves short sale experts, but you know what it takes to be a short sale expert? Vistaprint. You just go to Vistaprint and you tell them you're a short sale expert, and they'll print the card out, and there you go. I mean, the problem is that short sales can be stressful. Lenders are getting tougher. You have to fight these values and ancillary issues. And, it's like 10 times the amount of work as a regular listing. 10 times. Equity sales are a piece of cake compared to short sales. I mean, here's the deal. Lenders pay my commission. So if you hire someone like me, you basically get my services for free, which is a great deal. But the goal is to transition you. Ultimately, the goal is to transition you as a homeowner from a very bad situation to a new situation and set you up for the future so that you can get back into the house as soon as possible. That's what I try to do with every single one of my clients. I try to transition them so that they're able to buy a house in the future. So when we get back from the break, we're going to visit what was once known, and maybe still is, the avocado capital of the world. You are listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer.
This is AM 1170, The Answer.
Hey, San Diego, Craig Sewing here. Look, one of the things that nobody likes to hear is that they got bugs in their home. Almost all California homes have some sort of bug or termite problem. It's not a cool thing to have bugs running around your house, so I'm going to help you get rid of them. I want you to connect with Lloyd's Pest Control. These are our good friends of the Craig Sewing Show. They can help you. They've been in business, putting bugs out of business since 1931. They'll do a free inspection for you. If you want to get your biggest investment checked out, make sure there's not bugs or termites, go to LloydPest.com. That's LloydPest.com and get a free inspection of your real estate today.
Going through divorce can be very stressful. It is important to know your rights. I'm attorney Ilona Antonian. I'm a certified family law specialist. For over a decade, I've been helping San Diegans win their divorce and custody cases. If you have questions about divorce, property division, child or spousal support, modification of orders, or find yourself in a custody battle, please call us at 619-696-1100. Find us online at expertdivorcelaw.com, where you can download our free divorce, mediation, and recovery guides that I hope you find useful.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of the Michael Gaddis JD Realty Group. For more information about me, please visit www.michaelgaddis.com. As I mentioned before the break, we are now going to visit one of the more unique communities in all of San Diego County. The community, known at one time as the avocado capital of the world, it might still be, is, of course, Fallbrook. Fallbrook is located in North San Diego County near the 15 freeway. And it still has that small town feel. When you're in Fallbrook, it's almost as if you're not even in Southern California anymore. It is very, very unique. It's characterized by the numerous avocado groves and plant and flower nurseries. Many of the homes in Fallbrook are located on very large plots of land. Many of the homes are located on higher elevations and have incredible panoramic views. Fallbrook's also home to the Avocado Festival every spring. Now, if you've never been to the Avocado Festival, you need to put that on your calendar and make an effort to go there next time. It is extremely unique. It is an amazing thing to see because there are so many people. I go to a lot of street fairs, and it is one of the most massive street fairs that I've gone to. And it's got all kinds of things, and it's based on, of course, avocados. Now, for years, Fallbrook was, accessible on the 76, which was a 2-lane freeway. Now they're in the process of widening the 76 to help facilitate the growth, the growing amount of traffic between the 5 and the 15 freeways. And it looks like they're really moving along pretty well. I drove up there not too long ago, and first of all, it amazes me how long it takes to put a road down, but it does definitely look like they're making some headway up there. So hopefully soon they'll open up that expansive freeway, and it'll make it a lot easier to get to Fallbrook. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the residential market up there. Right now, as of today, there are 153 there are active listings in Fallbrook. And my next guest is from my real estate company, Michael Gaddis Realty Group. This is Will Afzali, and he has one of those 153 active listings. Thank you so much for coming in, Will.
Thanks, Mike, for having me here.
So tell us a little bit about your house.
Well, I got a exciting listing on 2927 Lakemont in Fallbrook, California, 92028. This is definitely a 3-bedroom with an optional bedroom to make it 4 bedrooms. We have 3,700 square feet, and we have 4 full bathrooms.
Wow. So take us on a little tour of your house, so to speak, a radio tour.
Okay, yeah. So once you walk into the house, you have 2 bedrooms located on the first floor. Each one has a custom, fully upgraded bathroom. And then you have a remarkable brand new kitchen. We have African Persia granite countertops. We have white shaker cabinets. We have new cabinets, new granite. New everything in the whole kitchen. Furthermore, we have new carpet throughout the whole place. Everything's painted. Drought-free landscape. We have an indoor barbecue grill in the kitchen. New recessed lighting. We have a vegetable sink and pull-out faucet in the island with a disposable. We have a pool, and we have a koi pond, Mike.
Well, let me tell you something. Right during the break, Will was over here putting his phone in front of my face, showing me all the pictures of this house. Look at this one. Look at this one. You could tell he's definitely proud of this particular home. And I'll tell you, those pictures are magnificent. It looks like this house has been almost fully rehabbed.
It has. It's been definitely fully renovated. We put a lot of upgrades into the home, so it shows very well. You're within walking distance from the Fallbrook golf course. So if you like to golf, this is definitely the property for you.
Oh, wow. So tell me a little bit more about, does it have any views? What's it got going on there?
We definitely have breathtaking, panoramic views throughout the whole house. Every room has an amazing view.
So where's the price at?
We're asking for $749,800.
So what does that make it on a price per square foot basis?
Just at $202.
$202. My gosh. For all of you out there, one of the things you do when you try to comp out a house is one of the first things you do, at least I do, because I'm a numbers guy, I'm all about analytics. So one of the first things I do is I pull a report that shows me basically what the price per square foot is per house. Now, a price per square foot is not necessarily indicative of what the house is, but it gives me a kind of a launching pad to see what houses in the general area are. From there, you compensate based on factors such as this house has a view or upgrades, things like that. At 200, would you say it was, Will, 202?
$202.
Well, currently among the active listings, the average price per square foot is $253 a square foot in Fallbrook, and the median is $251. So you're far below the median and average, price per square foot for active listings.
That is absolutely correct, and we have a resort style pool and jacuzzi.
Wow. That's incredible because, and I did see pictures of that pool, and it is pretty nice. They did a really good job on that rehab. So, I mean, so what is it about this house that makes it so special?
Well, it's definitely the view. It's the location. I mean, you're right next to the golf club. So if you like to golf, you can go in there and, go check out AJ's Tap House and have a drink and go golf with your buddies. And then you come back to your secluded private home and you have nice views. I mean, you can entertain in the backyard, barbecue and hang out at the pool, or go get a tan in your backyard. I mean, you have a nice koi pond. The kitchen is humongous. The whole house is, 3,700 square feet. You have a lot of living space to entertain your guests.
Well, I know a lot of people who are looking for homes today. One of the things I hear a lot from my buyers is open floor plan. Does this house have an open floor plan?
It has an extremely intelligent open floor plan.
Really? And what how so? When you walk in the door, what do you see?
When you walk in, I mean, on your left, you have a great room. I mean, it's literally a humongous bonus room. You can put a gym in there. You can put a movie theater in there. I mean, you can put, 3 or 4 pool tables side by side and make it into like a big, hangout room. Wow.
And then where's the kitchen located?
The kitchen is located right when you walk in. It's on the right side. Your kitchen is humongous. I mean, you have a bar. You can entertain people that come up and sit at your in the kitchen, and you have 3 sliding doors that lead out kind of like a lanai into the backyard. So you have your koi pond. You have a sun deck, and then around the back you have your jacuzzi and your pool. With a view.
Well, one thing I mentioned earlier is that Fallbrook is characterized by homes that it almost has a rural feel to the area in Fallbrook a lot. What is this particular neighborhood like? And I'm not saying that all areas in Fallbrook are rural. Some of them are community based. What this particular home is it more of a rural feel, or is it more of a neighborhood feel?
It definitely has the typical neighborhood feel. I mean, this is more the king of the hill. So, you have your cookie cutter neighborhood, but then you have this massive house at the top of the hill. And we look over the golf course, and you can go play golf.
So it's a great house for people with families and people who want to live in Fallbrook and enjoy the kind of the rural nature of the community as a whole, but still want to live in a kind of a community-based neighborhood.
That is correct. Yes.
And so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And one of the best features is the second story is like a paradise for the master bedroom. So you have a great big master bedroom, obviously a fully furnished, a fully renovated bathroom. But right next to the master bedroom, you have a really large loft, and that can be utilized as a office, which is an extremely large office, or it can be converted into another bedroom.
Wow, it really sounds exceptional. It sounds like the owner of this home put a lot of money into it.
A lot of money, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful. Just go online and take a look at it. But if you want more instant pictures and information, shoot a text to 619-478-0866. Just text 101. And you'll get instant pictures and more information on that property.
So let me get that straight. So basically, if somebody's listening right now and they wanted to see pictures of it instantaneously,
correct,
all they need to do is text that number. And can you give us that number again?
Sure. Text 101 to 619-478-0866.
And all they need to do is put 101 in there.
That is correct. You'll get a bunch of pictures and information on that property.
And so let's go over the price again. What was the price of this particular property again?
$749,800.
$749,800.
That's for a 3-bedroom plus 1 bonus room, 4 bathrooms, 3,700 square feet, built 1985.
Now, you mentioned that there's 2 bedrooms downstairs, correct?
Correct.
Because I know a lot of homeowners today, they do like to have at least 1, maybe 2 bedrooms downstairs, in case they have maybe an elderly parent or somebody living with them, or for guests. Do either of these do either of these have an ensuite bathroom, or is a bathroom separate?
They both have their own private bathroom.
Oh, they do have their own private bathroom. Wow.
And each room is located on a different wing in the house, so you have complete privacy.
So this particular home might be a good home for somebody who maybe has multiple families living there, multiple generations. People could have their own private space, yet still live there. And as I said, I did see a picture of the pool, which Will was continuously sticking into my face, telling me, look at this pool, look at this pool. And it is quite breathtaking. Now, your price, I was just looking through some statistics here. And your price, even for pending listings in Fallbrook, is really, really low. I mean, right now the pending median price per square foot is $241 dollars a square foot, and the average is $262.
Yep, and we're at 202, so I mean, it's like very competitive.
It's a very competitive price for this particular home. You know, it's interesting. One thing I've noticed about Fallbrook is that usually in Fallbrook, houses tend to stay on the market a little bit longer than others, but it looks like Fallbrook's market is starting to heat up a little bit. You know, I'm looking at the pending listings right here, and the median days on market for a pending listing right now is just 40 days. The average is 71, but we don't use averages too much because they're skewed slightly by, you know, some really weird exceptions at the top that are kind of skewing the numbers. But but it looks like that you know, the market is definitely heating up there in Fallbrook. So, Will, do you have any final comments regarding your listing?
No, just come take a look at it. I mean, we're actually going to be having an open house on September 12th and the 13th from 1 to 4. So come by. There'll be appetizers, refreshments, and come take a look at the property. Wow!
And can you do me a favor? Can you say that number again that they need to text?
Sure. Text 101 to 619-478-0866.
Well, I'd like to thank Will Afzali of Michael Gaddis JD Realty Group for joining us today. If you would like to contact Will about his listing in Fallbrook, you may contact him at will@michaelgaddis.com. That's will@michaelgaddis.com, or call 888-242-2272 and ask for Will. That's 888-242-2272. After the break, we're going to discuss the myths and misconceptions surrounding perhaps the most dynamic yet enigmatic loan product on the market today. You are listening to The Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer.
Look no further. We have the answer. AM 1170 The Answer.
What if you could safely grow your retirement account with a reasonable rate of return with no risk of principal? Hi, this is Dave Harris with Wealth Preservation, specializing in retirement income and insurance planning. There's nothing I enjoy more than helping San Diegans protect and grow their retirement savings. For over 4 decades, we have helped families achieve financial success. If you need help with your retirement planning, please visit me online or call me today. My number is 800-313-PLAN, or visit me online at wealthpreservationllc.com.
Hi, this is AJ Gupta from the Gupta Legal Center. You've probably seen us on the American Dream TV show and the Craig Sewing radio show. We're honored to be featured as the exclusive real estate attorney and honored to be trusted by Craig and all of his top producing realtors. Our office was also featured as a super lawyer representing California's top 5% of attorneys. You may not know whether you need an attorney or not. My suggestion is you kind of have an idea whether there's a problem or a question. So I suggest if you don't know whether you need an attorney or not, give us a call. We're happy to pick up the phone, give you a call back, figure out what it is that you need to have addressed. If we can't or don't know the issue, then we can definitely point you in the right direction. Our phone number is 619-866-3444. That's 619-866-3444, and that's GuptaLC.com. GUPTALC.com.
Hey, Craig Sewing here. Look, I get asked all the time from CraigSewing.com, who is my CPA? I got to tell you, this guy is the savant of tax planning. He's not just a CPA that does all the paperwork. He will actually help you coordinate a full-blown tax plan and asset protection. I have never referred anybody to Doug Jennings that was not able to reduce their taxes. Not once. And I've never heard anything negative. I give my highest recommendation to Doug Jennings at JenningsTaxLaw.com. You got to reach out to him, a free consultation, and you'll see you might be able to cut your tax liability in half. Ethically, legally, it just takes a plan. Doug Jennings, JenningsTaxLaw.com. Reach out to him today, JenningsTaxLaw.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of www.michaelgaddis.com. I am also the CEO and NMLS license broker of Frontier Loan Group, Inc., or as we like to call it, FLG. FLG is licensed by the California Bureau of Real Estate, license number 01449152, NMLS ID 345-305. I am also licensed by the California Bureau of Real Estate as a real estate broker. My broker license is 014-33800, and my NMLS license ID is 280011. Today, I want to talk about the myths and misconceptions of one of the most enigmatic loan products on the market today. I call it enigmatic because there is so much misinformation about how this loan really works. There is so much. Last week, I spoke a little bit about what a reverse mortgage is, as well as discussed about some of the general eligibility requirements. Today, I want to talk about the myths and address some of the misinformation out there about reverse mortgages. So one of the number one myths that I hear is that reverse mortgage borrowers lose title to their home. This is absolutely not true. A reverse mortgage is very similar to a forward mortgage. You keep title to the house and there's a lien on the property. So in no way does a borrower lose title to their home. Another myth I've heard recently is that since the loan negatively amortizes, and what negative amortization means is that if you have a reverse mortgage, you don't have to make house payments. But those house payments have to go somewhere, right? They just don't disappear. What happens is those house payments get knocked basically on top of your principal balance. So every single month that you don't make a payment, your loan goes up. Your principal balance goes up. So that's called negative amortization, because a straight amortization will allow for your payments to go down as you make payments. So since the loan negatively amortized, the loan balance could exceed the value of the property, making the borrower and the heirs responsible for the deficiency when the reverse mortgage becomes due and payable. This is absolutely not true. Reverse mortgages are non-recourse loans. And as we discussed earlier, a non-recourse loan is where the only option that the lien holder has is in the house itself. It cannot come after you or the heirs or anybody individually. So, in fact, and here's something very interesting about this, because, let's say, for example, this situation arises, which is a good thing, by the way, because the way they calculate how much you're going to owe is based on your life expectancy. So if you're in this situation, more than likely you've outlived your life expectancy, which is a good thing. And what it means is that there's an avenue for your heirs to purchase the home if they wanted to retain it. So let's say that you pass away, you owe a lot more on the house than what it's worth. The heirs have the option to purchase the home at 95% of the market value. So that's a really nice option. No matter how much the house is worth, whatever the market value is, they'll let you buy it for 95% of the market value. Myth number 3 is the heirs will not receive any of the remaining equity when the reverse mortgage becomes due and payable. The truth is, when the last reverse mortgage borrower dies or ceases to live in the house for more than 1 year, the borrower or the heirs can either pay off the reverse mortgage or sell the home and pay off the reverse mortgage balance from the proceeds of the sale. Any amount above and beyond the reverse mortgage payoff will go to the borrower to the estate of the borrower. So, as long as basically, there's equity in the house, when the house it's just kind of like if somebody passes away with a forward mortgage. You'll sell the house and you'll pay off the loan. It's the same thing. Myth number 4, homeowners that have not paid off their house cannot get a reverse mortgage. This is absolutely not true. One of the key components of a reverse mortgage is that you either have a paid off house or a house with a substantial amount of equity. The reason that lenders and investors like these are that they're very secure loans. Because of the amount of equity there's very little risk to them, because they know that there's a very high probability that they're not going to be in a negative situation. Myth number 5, borrowers with conventional loans secured against their property cannot obtain a reverse mortgage. The truth is that, so it's kind of the opposite of the previous myth. In this situation, someone's saying, well, if my house is not paid off and I have a loan, I can't get one. Well, that's not true. What happens is that when you get the reverse mortgage, a reverse mortgage will pay off the existing loan and allow you to get a reverse mortgage within the confines of the LTV restrictions. Myth number 6, a reverse mortgage can cause you to be evicted from your home. The bottom line is, as long as the borrower continues to pay for the property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA, and property upkeep costs of the property. The borrower may live in their home for as long as they live or continue to live in their home. No one has the ability to force the borrower from their home. A lot of times this kind of myth comes out when you have maybe a child that's living with the homeowner. And sometimes what happens is when the person passes away, the child who's living there basically doesn't tell anybody about it, and sometimes it can cause some problems. But that's a different story, and that's about understanding what a reverse mortgage is, the errors at least, and being proactive about it. But the borrowers themselves can never be evicted as long as they're living in the house. Myth number 7: if the borrower if the borrower outlives their life expectancy, the reverse mortgage lender can make the reverse mortgage due and payable. Again, it doesn't matter. You can outlive it. So basically what they're going to do when you get your reverse mortgage is they're going to have a life expectancy. And after your life expectancy, basically you can still continue to live in that house until you pass away or continue to live there for at least 1 year. Now, in this situation, it could be possible that by the time you do pass away, let's say you live to be 110 years old. Let's say your life expectancy was 20 years and you outlive it by 15, 20 years. You could be substantially underwater by the time you pass away. But they can't take your house or say, "Oh, sorry, you're out." It doesn't work that way. They can't do that. Myth number 8: reverse mortgage lenders take advantage of senior homeowners. This is a big misconception. Seniors that have been scammed or misled by reverse mortgage are the exception to the rule. The reverse mortgage loan program requires that borrowers contact an independent third-party HUD counselor that explains how reverse mortgages work, as well as the pros and cons of obtaining a reverse mortgage. So what this means is that no one can be duped necessarily into getting a reverse mortgage. There has to be an independent counseling session that occurs from a third party, and that third party is going to go through line by line and explain exactly what is going on to the homeowner. So the ability of somebody to scam a homeowner is negated by this requirement that there's an independent third party to advise them. The next myth is that there are restrictions on how money received from a reverse mortgage can be used. And the reality is that there are no restrictions on how the money can be used. You can use it for whatever purpose that you want. And however, borrowers should be prudent on how they use reverse mortgage proceeds. Because it's important to make sure that you're wise and prudent in how you use these funds. Myth number 10, reverse mortgages are only utilized by desperate seniors that did not plan well for retirement. And that's not true either. A lot of homeowners use reverse mortgages as part of their retirement plan. I mean, the reality is that the golden years of your life are supposed to be golden. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it is true. And, when you're living on a fixed income filled with just, let's say Social Security or a restricted pension fund, you don't have the flexibility to do things that normal people would like to do. I mean, you plan your whole life to retire and travel and see your children and grandchildren and go out to eat, go to movies. You want to be able to do all of those things. However, a lot of times, reverse mortgages, homeowners cannot do that because they're restricted, but yet they're sitting on a either paid off house or a house that has a substantial amount of equity. So there's a lot of potential value in reverse mortgages. But it's important to note that reverse mortgages are best performed on a case-by-case analysis. It's impossible for me to sit here and tell everybody universally that a reverse mortgage is right, because it might not be. There are situations that I've come across where I just did not think it was the prudent thing for them to do. And so I think, as I said, it's more of a case-by-case analysis. And so if I think people kind of look at their own individual financial circumstances and kind of look at the benefits and the points of consideration with the reverse mortgage, they can easily make a determination of whether it's right or wrong for them. Well, that does it for today. I want to thank you all for listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. discussing anything and everything related to real estate. If you want to contact me with questions or topics for the show, please feel free to email me at michael@michaelgaddis.com, or you can call me at 888-242-2272, and you can visit my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Michael Gaddis Realty Group, or visit my webpage at www.michaelgaddis.com. Again, you have been listening to The Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. Good night, San Diego.